Hi there, my friends. This is Marcus from S Metaphysics, and thank you for dialing in. So, who do we have here? Say hi to me so that I know you're around. Can you hear me? If you yes, just say yes, I can hear you. Hi, Bunko. Yes, yes. Welcome to this webinar session. 八字 101 webinar session 2. Say a hi to me. I know you're around. Good. You can hear me. All right. Who else do we have there? Oh, people are starting to come in. Oh, hi, Douglas. Hi, Ethan, Catherine, and Joseph. Hey, hi, Serene. Yes. Keep saying hi so that I know you're around. Don't be shy. Okay, we're going to have the 八字 101 webinar session 2 today. So I hope that you've learned some new stuff in the previous session. It's really about applying the 5 elements. So it's as straightforward as if you know a certain action or certain behavior, and if you can categorize that behavior into one of the 5 elements, then you will probably know how to position yourself to deal with that element. So you will be able to then be able to create more happy events out, happy results, and also more objective and oriented in terms of your behavior towards that behavior. So isn't that good? Okay, so who else do we have here? Keep saying hi. As along the way, you can just type anything that you like, asking questions, and also or if you think, hey, how come suddenly you can't hear me? Okay, and if you think that you have any questions along the way, just type in your questions. Then I'll be able to see, and I'm able to answer it along the way. Okay, so this is Marcus from S Metaphysics, and thank you for dialing in. Okay, in my past 20 years, 20 plus, I've been in corporate world. So I literally, whenever I can, I try to apply all these metaphysics application into my life. So and then from there, and gain a lot of good outcomes from there. So you should also, okay, try to apply as much as possible. So friends out there, if you're logged in with a very weird name like A or B or C, uh, it'll be better if you can log in with your real name so that I know who you are. And then from there, I can answer your questions also, and I know that you're who. Then we can become friends. All right. So so how do you like my previous session so far? Is it good? If it's yes, just pop in the yes. Then I know. And do you have any friends from overseas? So I definitely know we have friends from Singapore and Malaysia. Previous session we have friends from Amsterdam. So for this round, do you have any friends from anywhere from other parts of the world? So if you have, tell me so that I make sure that I'm speaking more proper English. It's a joke, okay? Okay, so are you all ready to start? Good. Then we shall start. All right. Good evening, and thank you for joining this webinar session. This is Marcus from S Metaphysics. So from a previous round in Bazi 101, we've learned something about complicated Bazi made simple by applying the ancient science. So any behavior, as I repeat again, any behavior that a person has can be categorized into an element. And then from that element, what you need to do is you want to make better of that behavior, you produce it. And you want to have better control over that behavior, you either deplete out or you counter in. Isn't that very straightforward? So do you want me to do a recap so so that you can recall, or you want more example. If you want more example, just type in more example. Then from there, I can actually help you to recap again, so that you are able to refresh your memory. Okay, then I'll be able to also make you as familiar as possible, so that this you just have to know that behavior relates to an element. Apply the element correctly to make sure that it be able to match to that behavior. Isn't that very straightforward? Okay. Let's say, for example, I just bring you through one more round, so that I show that producing in is actually a very simple concept in Bazi. Okay. For example, you wish to, you have a hope, you actually hope for something. Let's say, for example, you hope to learn something new. Okay, then actually hope is like a tree, a wood, because as you're growing, you actually are growing upwards. You're actually wanting to develop, to hope for something. Okay, so let's say hope is actually, it start with here. Can you see my hope? Okay, let's say hope. So from that hope, hope actually gives a support to what? After feeling hope, when you do it correctly, it will lead you to feeling good. Because once you have hope, you have a direction in life, you will feel good. Then from there, after feeling good, what should you be doing? Once you feel good, you think that more things are more more stable, more in control. So then from there, you actually find stable. You get a sense of, this is what I want in life. Okay, then from there, after stable, you wish to do something. You will probably try something because of that stability mindset. Then you wish to, okay, now I can move on and take some action. Then you will gain confidence. So then from there, it leads to confidence. Then from confidence, it will lead to, for you to plan, or start to plan something, so that whatever actions that comes thereafter will be meaningful. So you need to do a planning. Planning is water, by the way. Then from the planning, you actually, or after the plan, you wish to step out and take action. The stepping out and take action is actually a wood element. So you lead you to stepping out to take action. Then from there, while stepping out, taking action, you will want to explore, feel. So it's actually very feeling right or wrong, whether you're taking the right step or not. So that means what? You are trying to explore. For you to explore, you must be able to see, right? That's fire element. Then from there, after exploring, you will want to have better coverage of what is on the ground. Better coverage of what is on the ground. Isn't that coverage? So that leads to what? Coverage, because that's earth element, and then having coverage, and from there, once you have coverage, you can actually start to take action, take the lead, to get things done. So, but take the lead to get things done is actually leadership, and leadership is matter. So leadership is matter, and then from that, once you have leadership to get things done, you probably also want to you learn along the way. You learn from the actions, the experience, everything. So then from there, your wisdom grows. Your wisdom actually starts to grow. Then from there, it's actually what? Become smarter in what you're doing at. So upon being smarter in what you're doing at, then from there, you actually have different layers of experience setting in. Different layers of experience. Layer, isn't that wood? So with the different layer of experience settling in, then you find yourself that, okay, now I'm getting more in control of what I'm doing. Now I can actually what? Tell people what to do based on my experience. I have a depth of experience, I have different layers of exposure. Then from that, now I'm actually able to influence. That is fire. That's influencing out. Correct? So once influencing out, you will slowly get to realize that, oh, okay, you are able to affect more and more people. The more and more people, isn't that earth? With the more and more people coming in, you're able to influence them. Once you're able to change their life, make an impact to them, then from there, they actually starts to like you, because you actually are guiding star. Then from there, you actually gain your significance. You feel important. You feel that you're able to help people. You feel significant. Isn't that matter element? So once you feel significant, then you will think, okay, now I'm able to do more. I need to upgrade myself. I need to dive deeper into whatever expertise that I have so that I am able to garner more wisdom through my skill. So isn't that going deeper? And with that going deeper, isn't that water element? Correct? And with that going deeper, after that you want to, okay, by just doing this is not enough. I must have a bigger picture, a vision so that whatever that I'm doing now leads to a bigger me, a bigger direction, a mission in life. So isn't that a wood element? Vision is a wood element. And then from vision, it leads to I am now able to influence a lot of people. Then from there, you actually are people see you as their future. Correct? And from there, you are able to blood out even more people. So you actually become light, the light of all the people around you. And then from the light, then from there, you are able to what? Give them the nurturing. Earth elements nurturing. And from the nurturing, and then from that, you're able to now your story is no longer about yourself. Your story is really about more people. It's about a bigger trying to create a legacy. And from there, isn't that really about a solid experience? Okay, then from there, with this experience, you are able to do more. You see, I can go on and on and on. So if you realize producing is actually wood producing fire so that fire can produce earth, and then from that if you realize I'm actually going cycles and cycles of what iterations, and these iterations leads you to a person getting better and better and better. So 5 elements are behavior. 5 elements, every action, everything in the whole world can be classified into 5 different categories. So if they just use a 5 elements to make a simplistic representation, because ultimately it's really about controlling, depleting, producing. That's all. And it's actually a product's life cycle. It's a product life cycle. It's actually a time a cycle where you understand the nature and the law of changes. So if once a person have that perspective of what is 5 element, what are the 5 elements, then from there the things become very simple. Why do I start from this topic first, even before talking about anything on Bazi, the 8 characters? Is because once you grasp this very well, you will realize that actually metaphysics, which fundamentally talks about the 5 elements, are not religion. It's actually an ancient science. It's as good as saying the sun rise from the east and set from the west. That's a fact. There's a logic. There is a nature. So 5 elements is actually a talk, a philosophy, an approach, and application about the law of nature, cycles. So my friends out there, so bear in mind that when you talk about metaphysics, fundamentally it's talking about 5 elements and its interaction. And with that is not a religion. Not and it can be something externally, it can be applied to something internally on how we grow. You see, so 5 elements is in short the law of change, the cycle of the universe. That's all. All right. So hope you have a good recap of this because it is very important. Okay. Because if you didn't realize that, then you probably realize far part is very hard to learn. Okay. And once you know it, it can apply in any corners in your life. Okay. Imagine if you don't know the cycle and the law of changes, then we are basically living in ignorance. And imagine the price of ignorance. It can be so great. We do not want that. All right. It back in one of my tours in India, then I actually saw this picture. Then I took it. Actually, the cow, the cow, it just has its meal, and then from there, but it saw the paper cardboard, it still eat it. because he thought that, oh, there's still more things to eat, and the cow eat. So that's why I took this picture for this, the price of ignorance. If I tell you that somebody is hiding behind the wall, so when you go over, be careful, do not be scared by him. Then that awareness will actually evade you from a lot of problems. So by being aware, we actually reduce the impact by half. That's always what I'm saying. And if we are ignorant of the things that's happening around us, then we are actually missing big time on applying and make things better and make our objective easier to achieve. Because by being aware, we can apply metaphysics, and by applying based on our belief system, based on our experience, things can get better. And by getting better, we have high success rate. All right. Okay. Aha, we have a friend from Amsterdam. Hi, Anurag. Okay. So now I'm going to bring forward into another topic, which is 5 elements moving to 10 stems. In everything, there's always a polarity, a positive, negative, bright, dark, male, female, soft, hard, 1, 0 for binaries. So we realize that our whole world is actually a fundamental binary of 1 and 0, yin and yang. Yin and yang concept has been around since the clan, the Fusi tribe, which was under historical tracking from China, 7,000 BC, around that, 7,000 BC, you see. So it was very, very, very long ago, where the words are not even invented. They saw signs, they saw sun, they saw things in cyclic. They try to create symbols to represent. And one of the most fundamental symbol is actually the yin, which is 2 line, and the yang, which is 1 single line. So a yin and a yang, they actually use sticks to represent back then 7,000 BC in those days. So for every element, there's also a yin and a yang. And from the yin and the yang, you realize that becomes 5 elements, yin yang, 5 times 2, you got 10 stems. 10 stems. In Chinese, you call it 10天干, 10 heavenly stems. Okay. So, and then from there, if you realize that's actually one of the most fundamental, besides the 5 elements. 5 elements, yin yang, 10 stems. So in the 10 stems, they actually they try to create meanings out of it. And then from there, in the ancient China, they also try to have characters which are not so common, that you don't find in normal dictionary, those characters. Okay, so I'm going to go through it one by one. Okay, this is called a jia wood, the yang wood. Okay, in opposite, in a different polarity, same element, this is called a yi. Okay, so jia yi is actually the yang and the yin wood element of a 10 stem. All right. So and then from there, moving ahead, next is actually the ping. Ping, we call it ping, which is the yang fire. Okay, and from the yang fire, again, the different polarity is actually the ting. All right, ting fire, the yin fire. So yang and the yin for fire element. And then from there, it produces the earth. Earth actually have this element called the yang earth, wu. And in the different polarity, there's this element called the yin earth called the ji. 自己的己 in Chinese, 己. Okay, it's the same writing. Okay, so 物己 is actually for a yang earth and a yin earth. And then from there, you actually have another 2 element, which is called the matter element. And the yang part is the geng yang matter. In opposition, different polarity for a yin matter is a sin. All right. So yang matter, yin matter. And then from there, it produces water. Water, the yang part, the yang water is called the ren. And the yin water is called gui. Gui. So now, these are not the common Chinese word that you normally see. But you realize that the 10 stems, you have to get it very familiar by keep saying it. Okay. If you want to use the English to represent, it's perfectly okay. Yang wood, yin wood, yang fire, yin fire, yang earth, yin earth, and so on. If you want to say in the Chinese way of pronunciation, 甲乙丙丁戊己庚辛壬癸. You got it? You need to repeat that again. Repeat that again. 甲乙丙丁戊己庚辛壬癸. Okay? So for all my English speaking only friends out there, all the best to you. And well, don't ever laugh, because even for Chinese in Malaysia, Singapore, when we start, we can't even pronounce the words properly. So, okay, all have the same starting point. Okay, so once you know the 10 stems, you will get to appreciate, oh, yin yang, 5 elements. Then I need to bring this further. Okay, so in these 10 steps, it is actually the fundamental of the metaphysics. Be it if you're talking about Qimen, if you're talking about the Ziwei Dou the purple star astrology, you're talking about Da Liu Ren, if you're talking about date selection, if you're talking about Bazi, if you're talking about everything in metaphysics, 10 steps are the fundamental of the whole thing. Okay, so get very familiar with 10 steps. So that's why I say, if you grasp correctly of the 5 elements and keep trying to decipher this behavior or this item or this form belongs to which element, you will get more and more versed into the 5 elements. And then from there, the 10 steps will be a fingertips for you. Okay, so far, any question? If there are question, you can ask some questions along the way so that I know and I can try to answer so that you get a better learning experience. All right. Okay, now I'll be going into the 10 stems. What are their characteristics? This is the fun part, because what I've said previously, the 5 elements are by wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Now I'm going to split it up into a yin and a yang. Then from there, you get to know how to apply it down the road. Okay, always bear in mind, in the olden days, where the words are not that advanced, the writings are not that advanced, the civilizations are still pretty primitive. People are using forms to represent, pictures to represent. So in the olden days, they look at a tree, they try to draw that, they call it 甲骨文, and then from there in Chinese, and then from the word 甲 come out, because you really look like a tree, you see? Because if you recall how a tree looks like, I'm going to tell you, this is how a tree looks like. Then from there, they come out with 甲. You see? Isn't that just really pictorial words? Okay, interesting, right? All right. So 甲, okay, and this, once you grasp all these 10 elements, you list and try to understand it from a pictorial point of view. If you understand this from a pictorial point of view, you will be able to have better learning experience in terms of how to apply it. So do not get bothered about, oh, I'm a day. Is it about 甲 day stand master, or is it about a 甲 luck cycle, or you're talking about which 甲 are you talking about? So don't bother about that first. Just get yourself familiarized with the 10 stems. The 10 stems. You know what it calls stems? In a plant, you need to have a stem before the branches come out. It's just like the backbone of a plant. So for anything to be talked about, to be analyzed, we need the stem. So the stem is actually the fundamental. That's why I call it the 10 stem. All right. And yeah, this is that's a straightforward. That's why I call it 10 stems. Okay. So now you realize why it's called a stem. Why is Jia is written that way? Why is there a 10 stem and not 15? Because it's in 5 element times yin yang 10. And then now we are going to individual. So for every stem, there is a desirable or favorable characteristics, and there are also a not so desirable or favorable characteristics. And some characteristics are like pretty subjective depending on individual. Okay, so and then from there, that's why you need to see for yourself how to position, how to differentiate whether this is an asset or liability in terms of character, whether you like it favorable or you don't like it being unfavorable. Okay, you keep seeing favorable and unfavorable this term coming out as you go along learning 八字. Okay, the way I'm doing this is really onion peel. You know what's onion peel? That means this is an onion. I'll peel layer 1. Then I'll peel layer 2. Then I'll peel off layer 3. So as I peel different layer, you will be able to see gradually in progression. Oh, this is how it works. I don't jump around. So that you see, if I jump around or step 1, point 1, point 5, point 3, point 6, then point 2, then point 1, then point 4, then point 3, you will get lost. I'm using the onion peel approach, a way of learning, so that as you progress individual layer, this layer be the fundamental for the next layer, and that layer will be the fundamental for the next layer, that layer will be the fundamental for the next layer. And if you realize, that method is called wood methodological progression. Isn't that wood step by step? You see, I'm applying what I'm learning. Okay, so and then from there, hey, hi Cheryl, nice to see you. So from there, now I'm going to go into 10 stem, the favorable behavior, the unfavorable behavior. Are you ready? If you're ready, just say a yes, and just take a short break. Okay, now let's start with the 10 stems. For a yang wood, okay, for a yang wood, you see the trunk as it grows up. Then from there, it starts to have spreading. And then once the tree is to give you shelter, the trees is to give you shelter. So it's trying to be loving to you. So it's in the word it's called benevolent. Okay, it's trying to look after you. Okay, look after you. So it's benevolent. So they have so yang would have this characteristic of being benevolent. Okay, and then from there it will just grow straight wherever the sunlight is. If the sunlight is there, always there, it will just try to grow that. So it's also very forthright. Okay, yang wood people are very forthright on the positive side. They when they have make their foot and their root firmly in the ground, they are steady. They are steady. You see, that's why when the wind blows, you never see the trunk swaying, right? Depending on how thick the trunk is, but if for a good tree trunk, solid, it's very steady, and that's why you find them very firm. Okay, and you come sometimes it grows layer, but as the tree grows, the rings in the trunk gets more and more and more. So it's actually very step by step progressive. And then from that, you also realize that it is procedural, because as the tree grows, the first layer of trunk will come out. Then as it grows taller, the next layer of trunk will come out. And this trunk will grow bigger. Then as it grows further, the first layer of the branches, I would say, not the trunk, the branches, comes out more and more. So it goes procedural. Okay, you don't go grow the other way around. So it's step by step. So the keyword, you see a yang wood, step by step, procedural. You work your way up. You work your way up. So isn't that good? So it gives people a very dependable kind of feeling on the favorable side. Okay. Well, when there's always a favorable side, there's always an unfavorable side. So what does that mean? So some of the unfavorable for a tree, guess what? You can be steady, but sometimes you are just literally not flexible. If people tell to do something on the unfavorable side, when people ask you to do something, you literally just stick to your rules, and you're so principled that you appear stuck up because you are inflexible. So the negative characteristics of a wood are inflexible. Okay, yang wood. And then from there, you can be perceived as defensive also, because everything is on top. You don't let people from below try to touch. So it's wow. So come, I don't let you have it. So it appears to be defensive. So one of the characteristics are defensive. And then from there, also when your tree, a wind blows, right? You blows, come back. You blow, it come back. Okay, it's so sturdy that you just won't give up. So you just won't give up. And resistance. So you tend to portray as being resistant to change. You don't see a tree running around, right? So that is what I mean by are the unfavorable characteristics of a yang wood: inflexible, defensive, uh, yeah. So you realize these are the two characteristics. So if you have a you have a Jia wood in your Bazi chart, then you realize that whether it's favorable, there's more, or unfavorable, there's more that's been manifested in your way of behavior. Then you realize that, oh, your Jia is favorable or unfavorable. Okay. Okay, that's so much for the Yang wood. So now let's move on to the next element. A Jia wood, then the next one will be the Yin wood. Okay, Yin wood. Yin woods are different. Yin wood are like, those soft plants, the weeds, the creepers that you see hooking on to anything that they can hook on, any walls, any fence, wire barbs. Okay, so the good side of Yin wood, the favorable side of Yin wood, they appears to be very adaptable. Very adaptable. They can just coil and just work their way up. Okay, so and it's bendable. So they are very adaptable. Okay, and from the way that they coil, they know where to actually find their way. So it appears that they are pretty meticulous. Yeah, this is the word, meticulous. So because they know where are the way for them to work their way up and grow and creep and climb. Okay, and then from there they are also very because of the way they know their way out, they are perceived as intelligent. And then from there, Yinwood people are known to articulate things well. You see, because as they create, they encompass all the things. They encompass all the wall, everything everything that they can touch, they can access to, they will grow. Okay, so that means a person being able to articulate well, they can say anything they like, and then from there and grow. You see, so that's why Yinwood people are known to be articulative, and then from there, they sometimes some of the creepers they actually move fast. So in short, the Yinwood people, the Yi, are also considered a quick thinker because of their adaptiveness. They can think very fast. Okay, and you realize when as they creep along, right, then they try to grab things along the way, grab and move. Then as they grab, sometimes or they find a branch, they'll grab. Then as they find a tree trunk, they'll grab. In short, they'll grab as they move up. So you will realize that Yinwood are able to gather resources or gather people to do their shit job. They're smart. Okay, so these are the positive characteristics of a Yiwood, and from there, aren't them good? They really know their way up, and sometimes when some of these decorative walls, you put creepers, they can really make themselves look nice, naturally, in a messy but in a very nice way. So it's really like pretty artistic. So they are neat. They can be neat. Okay. However, for the unfavorable characteristics or behavior of a Yinwood, the Yi stem, it can be totally the other way around. It's like as they move, they keep wearing, right? So they're very clinging. So if you have a very unfavorable E characteristics in your party chart, very easily, for example, your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend who have unfavorable E, you know that they're very clinging. They'll stick you like glue. Then from there they can't, until so much that they make you can't see, block you off, and they make you can't breathe. You see? And then from there the you would also, they need a certain platform to grow. So that means they are very dependent. They can't be by itself grow upwards. They need to climb on things. So they can be perceived as dependent. Okay, that means they can't be by independent. Jia Wood can be independent. Yi Wood, they are just dependent. All right. So now you know the difference, and then from there, you realize that they actually can be indecisive because they grow in all directions. For an unfavorable one, they grow in all directions. It's so messy. Like, hey, do you have a direction of where you want to move or not? Because you're still not moving everywhere you can move. Okay, so they appears to be very indecisive, erratic. There's no pattern. Sometimes also perceived as oversensitive. So these are the typical characteristics of a Yi Wood. Okay, yes, Bell, I have a question. If having yin wood and hidden stems of the month pillar, what is its benefit in career perspective? Okay, at this stage, to some of our friends out there, they may not know what do you mean by hidden stem. So I will cover this. Probably I'll cover that topic in my next webinar. So Bell, you ask again so that I can answer your question. But the long answer short, you don't just look at the yin wood in a hidden stem. You need to look overall the elements, which are the strong, which are the weak, and then from there, by what position, then you can talk about the hidden stem. Because there's a lot of other topics. For those friends out there who are not familiar, let me introduce you a few words. There's this thing called exposed, rooted, hidden, main chi, secondary chi, which are more technical. But once I say this out now, I think all of you will be confused. So unnamed peel again. I'll go it layer by layer. All right, Bell. Remember to ask this question again in my next 1 or 2 webinar. All right. Okay. I will continue. So yin wood are also known to be because they will try to see where they can grow. So they would also sometimes like CC feel okay, they can grow. So in Singapore term we call it kepo or inquisitive. Okay, Yi Wood people can be pretty inquisitive. They can be over inquisitive sometimes, and then from there, they are also you know, the creepers is a yin wood. The weeds on the ground are also yin wood, and the weeds actually suck the tree off its wanted resources. Okay, so in short, it's also very it can be manipulative. It can be attention seeking. Okay, because what you have, I want to get it from you and become mine. Okay, so it can be manipulative. So these are the unfavorable characteristics of a yin wood. So now you know every stem have a favorable characteristics, unfavorable characteristics. So depending on your Bazi chart, you will know that you're exposed to what behavior that is more unfavorable or favorable and which element. Okay, so far are you all learning? If you're learning, then that's good. Okay, so Jen has a question. Yin wood clinging means parasite hang on to you. Yin wood has a characteristic of clinging, and the clinging, if you like it, then it's good to you lah. If you find that people clinging to you makes you uncomfortable, then it is not good to you lah. That's why I say some of the characteristics, favor and favor, can be subjective, but some are quite clear cut. Okay, so yeah, let's answer. So now you know that Yin wood are having this favorable and unfavorable behavior. So that's for wood, Jia and Yi, favorable and unfavorable. So what is next? If you know what is next, you will know what it is. Our big hot sun, Ping. Okay, so Ping is actually represented by big fire, and the biggest fire you can come to think of is that big sun. Correct. So it has this nice favorable characteristics of is always giving, generous. People like, all of us like generous people. Correct now. So Ping, on the favorable side, it is very generous. Okay, keep giving, keep giving, keep giving, and the sun you come out is open. You see, everybody can see the sun as long as the cloud is not blocking you and you're not behind an obstacle. You can see the sun. They are very open to all. See, so Ping people, they can be very open, nothing to hide, and then from there it appears that they are very sincere because they don't let people feel that they have a hidden agenda. You see, so and then from there you realize that the sun every day around the same timing you see that sun coming out. Around the same timing you see the sun going down. Okay, for a country. And if you stay in some country you have an earlier time, you stay in some country you have a later time when the sun sets. So, but generally, other than the seasons, you see the sun always come up every day and goes down every day. One time up, one time down. Since don't know how many million years of BC. Okay, so the sun is always doing the same thing again and 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 again. So it's very what? Resilient. Okay, very timely and very resilient. You always do the thing, like keep doing the same thing, and it's very routine based. Okay, it always sticks to the schedule. Very routine, very committed. You don't see the sun suddenly don't come out and have a strike for one day, never. Okay, so the sun is really a very routine based, a very open, sincere, resilient. Okay, and able to brighten the people and give and from there it able to provide the warmth. Okay, because a lot of the life force on Earth needs the sun. Okay, it's very giving, very giving. You keep giving. Okay, and then from this giving, this heat, I can create a lot of opportunity. Okay, so I can give to people a lot of the stuff that they fundamentally need. Okay, that's the favorable side of the Ping, the Yang fire. On the contrary, the unfavorable side, the sun, is quite far, right? So it always appears distant, bright, shiny, but very far away. So to a Ping fire on the favorable side, they always, it's hard to get near to them. Even when physically by them, you find that you cannot enter into their world sometimes. So they always feel very distant with them, feel very distant. And sometimes the sun will just come out no matter you like it or not. I will just do it. Okay, so they can appear proud because they are the only one sun in the whole one universe. So then from there, being one and only, they can afford to be proud. Okay, so there's this ego in them that you will realize every sun will have. Yes, the sun doesn't move, but in our perspective, it's very routine because there's an orbit for the Earth around the sun. Correct now. So that's why there's this thing called day. The sun comes out and the sun sets. The sun comes out and the sun sets. Okay, so yeah, I know, JL, I know what you're trying to say. Okay, anyway, so and the sun, there's only one and only. You can't find a partner for the sun. One, so they are a loner. Okay, they probably likes to be alone. It's hard to get into their world if they are on the unfavorable side, the Ping fire stamp, and then from there they can easily be bored. You know why? Imagine if you have a boyfriend that always eat the same dish every day, every dinner. There's no difference. I think by month number one you will get bored to death, right? That what the is happening? So you realize that the Ping fire, being the good side being very routine on schedule. On the unfavorable side, they never change. They are bored. They can board people off very easily. Okay. So it depends on you whether you like the same thing every day or you like some of the different things on some days. Depend on you. All right. So this is for a Ping fire. a Ping fire, Yang fire, where you will have these two characteristics. So now fire on the Yang side, there's always a Yin fire. So Yin fire is portrayed by what? Is portrayed by the ta-da, the little candle fire. Okay, so a Ting fire means what? Um, Again, they're always favorable and favorable side. On the favorable side, the fire burns. You know why when on romantic dinner, there's always this one common thing on the dinner table called the candlelight, because it's sentimental. The fire flickers, people feel passionate. So it's a yeah. So that's why it symbolizes passionate, sentimental. Okay, so because it gives people the little warmth, the nice flickering of fire. So and then from there you will find that the fire is pretty elegant, you know, because it's dancing fire, the way the fire is moving. Correct. So people perceive as the favorable behavior are Ting fire, Yin fire, elegant. And then from there, being elegant, they can be also sentimental, very warm. They are also, like people who in the cave, they actually use torchlight, small fire, to guide them along the way. So they are also very good guides. Okay, they are very good guiding people. So guiding people will lead to people like what? Oh wow, the motivation speaker, or the what? Those who inspires others in life. So these are the favorable thing in fire. So they actually inspires people. They actually are very good motivators. They actually show you the light out from your tunnel of darkness. Think fire, right? They can lead you out to see your purpose in life. So they can be missionaries, people, you see, or sometimes also very passionate people who have passion in their life. Okay, and then from there, they are also appears to be affectionate. So you see, for small fire, small, they can be very passionate, sentimental, very elegant. So these are the more favorable side of a yin fire, the thing. On the unfavorable side, the fire, they can just flicker and flicker and flicker and flicker and flicker. They can be very fickle minded. Okay, and that's why sometimes a fire, you can will be very temperamental, because it never still. So it depends on any slightest wind that can be blowing. So they can be very, very temperamental. Okay. And sometimes, fire, you try to light up, light up. Hey, it's like, hey, there's the spark coming out. Hey, there's no fire again. So you need to do again and again. So they appears to be needy. Okay. You need a lot of heat before you can spark and spark and spark and spark and spark. Okay. So that's called needy. So the negative side, the favorite side is thin fire can be appears to be needy, and they sometimes you try to put the fire on the hand, it'll burn you. So once it burns you, it shows what you are burned. So they can be sarcastic. So they can be sarcastic for a thing fire, and then from that they are also small little things. They'll flicker, they'll move around. Small little wind, they'll get influenced. So they are very easily influenced. They are very easily distracted. So this is a thing fire. So if you realize the thing fire also, it can be a thing like a when people go shopping, something new is in the market. Oh, I want that thing. And then from there, they'll buy it home. Then from there, buy home, after prepare for that 2 day, they'll put it aside. In Chinese, we call it the 3 minute warmth. 3分钟热度. All right. So, yeah, this is unfavorable side of the thing. They can get very hype up to want something. In a short while, it will just fizzles off. And then they will look for something new. Easily distracted, fickle-minded. So you realize this kind of characteristics. Okay, so these are the fundamental characteristics. Okay, So if you realize that, you will know that, oh, the thing fire on the positive side, on the negative side, they are like that. Okay. So now let's see what the questions that we have. I think I have some questions along the way. Actually, the sun don't move. Yeah, the sun don't move. Actually, no, the sun is still turning. Okay. Thing fire can only do great things in the night. No, say so. You need, in olden days, where they discovered that animals' meat can be cooked, they set up fire to eat, and they do not do that only at night. They do that as any meal time in the day, in the noon time. That's a fire. So who says thing fire can only do great things at night? No, we can do, any stamps can do great things at any time of the day. All right. Okay, being fire is not good speakers. What is being fire strength at a place? Okay, in terms of, you see, if it's not about being fire, then you can be good speakers. It's really about let's say, it's the element of motivation. It's the element of inspiring. Some people can really talk to inspire. Some people actually do to inspire. You get it? Some people are role models to inspire. So some people sucks in character, but they are very popular in the movie industry. And with whatever message they say out, that can inspire. See, there are many ways of inspiring. So it's so you need to see whether the thing stem being a motivator or inspiring are sitting at where, and what kind of thing, rooted or not rooted. Then from there you will get better ideas of inspiring. Okay, so it's not really about speaking or not. For speaking, whether it's good or not, you look at the output element. Recall the output element. For example, for a water person, the output element is wood. Water produces wood. So for wood to be good, speaking to be good, articulating to be good, the best way is you must have some sense of direction. Wood, ma? And then from there, be able to articulate in a way that is step by step, clear, methodological, encompassing, growth oriented, directional. Isn't that also, it can be inspiring? So now you see, so the whole idea has to be broadened. Yes, typically we relate yin fire to being inspirational, but other elements can also be, but it's just that yin fire has that element more. Okay, hope that answers. Okay, how much time do we have? Are you ready for the next element? It's very useful. Once you have a grasp of the 10 stems, 5 elements, you can go very far no matter what tools are being thrown to you. If you don't grasp that 5 element, 10 stems properly, any damn tool that is being given to you, you will get lost anyway. Okay? Roger that. The next element after the wood producing fire produces earth. We have the yang earth first. The yang earth is really like a mountain, okay? Really big mountain for big yang earth, or even small mountain, small hill like the Bukit Timah hill. It's a small hill. Also, is a yang earth. Okay, so a yang earth give people a very, it's like a mountain. You can't just move it overnight. And then from there, that's why it's called dependable, because it sits firm, it's there. Unless you dig the whole mountain out, it's going to be there. Okay, so it gives people this very dependable feeling, and then from there, so the dependable will leads to probably reliable or honest. Okay, because it can be a few characteristics, because the mountain don't change overnight. So this, you see what you see, you have what you have. So mountain are honest. That's why you call this honest characteristics. And then from there, they are also quite protective. In the mountain, how the terrain is moving, sometimes it's really to move here and there to really protect some of the important. In feng shui, we have this thing called the embracing mountain, the meridian spots. the table mountain. All these are formations on the terrain. In feng shui, we call it the dragons. Okay, our ancient China likes to use these nice words for to represent. So those terrains, those formations are actually to protect certain thing naturally. Okay, so it's just a second is nature that a mother will protect the children. Second nature. So Wu Mountain, the Yang Earth, are actually pretty protective. Okay, they have a protective nature of how the water and wind should flow. If you study feng shui, you will know. If you study the feng shui topic on the barrier commentary, the Zhang Shu, you will know. Okay, and it is very steady. Okay, you can't see a mountain running around. Okay, more steady than a yang, no, more steady than a yang wood. Yes. Okay, so this yang earth is very sits there. So while it sits there on the unfavorable side, it just means, on the contrary, it just means that they are stubborn. You just can't move them. They just sit down there like yeah, you just can't move them. Okay, I can't find a word for that. And from there, they are also, once you try to change something that is hard to move, you take longer, way longer than usual. So it becomes very procrastinating. They are slow. They are very reactive on the unfavorable side. And then they are also I would say they can be obstinate. So for some mountains which are very very bushy, very bushy, sometimes a huge forest, you can't even see what is inside, and you don't even dare to enter the huge big mountain. So it can be secretive on the negative side. Okay, so as a nice as a mountain can be honest, on the negative side they are very secretive. Bushy ones, and those that you can't see what's inside a mountain, or sometimes there are many tunnels and many secret pathway, so they appear secretive. It's not known to people. Then from there you will find that sometimes because of their nature of being slow, sometimes it's they are not good in expressing themselves. They are how would I say yeah, they are not good in expressing themselves. They are not good in articulating out something. Sometimes they really don't like to move. They sit down like a log, so they appears to be lethargic, lazy. Uh, yeah. So these are the characteristics of a unfavorable Yang Earth. And then from there, you will realize that this kind of Yang Earth, on the unfavorable side, their action taking are very slow. They are we call it the slow by 3 beat, man sang pai. Okay, reactive, slow in response. So these are all the unfavorable. So now you know the Yang Earth is represented by, let's say, a mountain, and the favorable and the favorable can be quite polarizing. Okay, after that, what is next? The Yang Earth, then the Yin Earth. Oh, we are finally on the second half. Yin Earth. Yin Earth are like those ground, not mountain anymore. Those ground on the floor, the ground. So you can you realize that the ground have a lot of minerals and nutrients and fertilizers. All crops are grown on ground. And all minerals are formed on ground and below. So they can create. Okay, they are very creative. They have tons of ideas, and they are flat on the ground. So for a typical flat ground, flat means they do not have to stick out. They are humble. So yin earth, ji are known to be humble. Humble is one of their good characteristic traits. So and then from there, they like to they really like to produce stuff. They when you are sitting on the earth, they welcome you. When you're running on the earth, they will welcome you. Then when you throw shit on the earth, they won't retaliate also. So for a G earth people, they are very accommodating. They can be tolerant. Okay, and then sometimes also appears as less harsh because it's flat ground. grassy area. So they can be very accommodating, very gentle, humble. Yeah. And is collecting all the resources, and they keep trying to produce stuff. So they also perceived can be as hardworking people. So that is the favorable side of the Ji Yin Earth. On the unfavorable side of the uh, Yin Earth, they appears to be secretive because you never know below that is really soil or hollow. Correct or not? And then for all Earth, they are slow. Okay, they are really slow. They can be also, you can hide something below the Earth, right? So with that, they can exhibit a character traits of stinginess. Hide below ma. Hide and don't let you see. That's unfavorable side. Don't let you see. So it can be appear stingy. Or they will be, when you go to certain areas, you will appear that the sand look like sand, and you step on it, you sink the quicksand. So and then from there, they won't give you any mercy anymore. They will just suck you in. So they also appear to be very vengeful. Okay, they will take revenge on harsh way, and you have no way to retaliate. Okay, they'll just suck you in. Okay, so and then from there, they are also very because of earth nature, these common characteristics of not able to express well is always there. Okay, so these are the unfavorable characteristics of a G inner. So now you know these two already. So roughly have an idea, right? If you have questions, just pop in so I can answer along the way. So 加以 wood, 丙丁 fire, 物己 earth. I've covered it. So if you have any questions so far at this stage, you can ask. If there's no further question there, I will proceed on. Hopefully, it's not too heavy loading to you, because these are the very fundamentals. And once you know it, try to apply pictorial and forms inside you to understand, so that it's easy for you to grasp. Once it's easy for that, then whatever tools, techniques, everything that we're going to talk about anytime in future is very easy for you already, all at your fingertips. Okay. Okay, since there's no question, I shall proceed. The Geng is actually the Yang matter. Okay, Earth produces matter. Matter, there's a Yin and a Yang. The Yang matter is called the Geng. The Geng matter. Geng matter appears to be, like an rusty iron ore. How to make it into a nice cutting sword or knife? Soak, hammer, soak, hammer, soak, hammer, soak, hammer, soak, hammer, soak, hammer. I can do it for a long time. Once after a long while of doing this process, the metal becomes very sturdy, very fine. And warrior swordsmen in the past actually need this kind of metal. So this kind of metal actually means what they are very tough. They've go through iterations and iterations of um, knocking, hitting, polishing, in short, lessons and hardships in life. So Geng represents a lot of iterations of hardships that they can endure through. Okay, so one of the key characteristics is endure. They are also very righteous, because swordsmen fight for a reason. And then from there, the reason is righteous to them. So they are also appear as righteous because they can cut all the weak people or all the bad people. So known as righteous. And then from there, people who use sword are usually in the warlords in the warfield. So unless it's for aesthetic purpose, but back in the olden days, that's why it's linked to courageous. And then from there, you will find that the Yang matter, the Geng matter, they can be also it represents lawyer. Because why? The matter doesn't bend easily. All right. So they are very righteous. They don't bend easily. They are very loyal. They are very resilient, very persistent. So these are the Yang matter. Okay. Then from there, the unfavorable side of the matter, well, in the olden days, when the king don't like you, just take out a sword and just chop, just kill you. So that means what? it's used by the people, the authoritative people, so it's linked to authoritative, and matter, typically a matter laid down there is a cold matter. So cold matter are cold, so you don't talk to them about giving about feelings, about affection. They are cold. Okay, so being cold, people find them no feeling, so they don't like it. So and then from there you fall in love with those geng people, with a lot of geng matter people. They are not those, hey dear, I love you. They're not those kind. They are more of those as a matter of fact, this is it, like it or not. They are more of those kind of people. They're very logic. They are very to the point. Okay, yeah. So for those people who yearns affection and warmth and sentiments from a geng, well, unless a luck pillar sets in, or he has learned the lesson to learn to be warmer, or else typically it's good. Okay, and then Keng also very aggressive because of its nature. It can cut through anything. It appears to be aggressive, and then from there, it can also appears to be rough, stubborn. Stubborn is one of the characteristics of a Keng matter because of its not able to bend. All right. So righteous, stubborn, you really sometimes can be subjective. Okay. And so I'll cover a few things. So Keng matters is really tough for relationships technically. Okay, a bit tough, a bit. Okay. So yeah. And so now you know the favorable and unfavorable aspect of the Yang matter. So what is next? The next will be the Sin, the In matter. In matter are the small matter, the fine matter. Okay, fine matter. So Sin matter, people are more because you see like jewelry, all the ornaments that you wear already, you're very flashy, so you feel happy. You feel very happy. So Sin matter people are typically happy people. They are very harmonious. They can articulate things very well, and then from there they like to, when they're happy, they make people happy. So they're entertainer, and because they being nice, little refined matter, right? They attract attention. So then from there they also likes to be entertainer, okay? Because entertainer makes people happy and they're in the limelight. Okay, and then from there they are always very joyous. They can be also very sentimental and inspirational also. Okay, that's for the favorable side of the Sin Yin matter. The unfavorable side is they try to grab too much attention, and it's never enough for them. So they always grab and grab and grab and grab and grab attention. And then from there, they can be very argumentative because of Yin method is also known as 对卦. 对卦 in 八卦 also known as cutting. So they can, when they talk, they can cut. When they talk, they can be very harsh. They can be very argumentative. They can always be very defaming to you. Okay, so these are the characteristics of a Yin method, negative side. So and then from there, they are also they think that they can use money to solve problem. They think that they will win because they work smart. So they think they're smarter than all the rest. So these are the characteristics. Okay, because I'm more flashy, so I can only see myself, cannot see others. So that's why they think they're smarter than the rest. Unfavorable side. So now you know that this metal got the yang and the yin side. So using picture, isn't that very easy to understand, to grasp the fundamental nature of the 10 stems? Finally, we are into the last element of the yin and the yang. And the yin one is actually yang one is the ren water. Ren water, yang water. Okay. So you know those waves. So they are like endless stamina. They always very full of energy. And you're on the go. So they see them good ren water, yang water are always full of stamina, very energetic. Okay, they also always, wherever they can go, they'll just go. So they appears to be adventurous. Okay, they are very action-oriented people. Action-oriented people. And then from there, they the sea water, they a lot of stuff are inside the under the sea. Actually, there are more stuff inside the sea than above the ground. And by the way, the sea occupies 70% of the whole earth. So there's a ton of stuff actually under the sea. So run water also means they have a ton of stuff in their pocket. In short, it just means they're resourceful. Okay, sea water, a lot of stuff, resourceful. So many resources. So from there they can just pull and pull and pull anything that they like to get what they want. So a lot of the successful rich people on earth, a handful of them are from Ren also. I realized. Okay. So rainwater, if people want to change a culture, topple a dynasty, they are highly strong, good rainwater, strong, good and run because they are very revolutionary. Okay, they always create new things that they believe in and lead people to believe in it and form a culture out of it, and then from there they make it part of the new thing and replace the old one. Revolutionary. And they'll keep doing and doing and doing, just like waves. After one wave, the other wave, other wave, the other wave, other wave, the other wave. So they are very full of stamina, and they are always continuously wanting to do, and they'll keep doing and doing and doing. So you find that rainwater people, when they are your competitors, you will probably have more headache. Okay, because they have the never-ending endless stamina, and they keep going and going and going and going until they defeat you. Okay, so these are the good side of the characteristics. The rainwater, the unfavorable side is, like during on the earth there are tsunamis. So when it comes, it's so forceful that they don't care who you are. They just go beyond their borders and just create havoc, kill lives, and then from there create all the mess. So they can be so forceful that they disregard everything. And that is definitely not a welcoming thing. You see? So and then from there, they are so rebellious that sometimes it's out of control because they just don't damn care anything, they just go. Okay. So and then from there, when those some of the movies, the sea wave can go so high that you have no way to actually handle them because they are so forceful. Sea wave, being sea wave, you see from a plane, it's always going up and down, 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 up and down. So they can be very, I would say, impatient. Get impatient is a word. Very restless. Okay, so they can be impatient or restless. And if you realize that, sometimes you see today normal tide, the next day very gushy waves. After that, maybe low tide. So they can flip between different temperaments. So people sometimes see that as very temperamental or very, I would say, two-faced. Left and right. Okay, so people are like lost in what is their real character. Okay, so and also part of it two-faced is because of seawater. You see the nice and clear seawater below the undercurrents. What you see on top and what you see below are different. So two-faced. Okay, so these are the favorable and favorite behaviors of a rainwater. I cover in quite a details of every single stem, if you realize it. The final stem is the Gui Yin water. The Gui Yin water are the dew, the droplets, the no longer seawater, but the mist. This kind of water. So if you find them, they can make their way through. They appears to be smartly and everywhere. So they're very intuitive. Okay, they know where to appear when the weather and condition is right. So it appears intuitive. And then from there, because Gui being in water you pause, it goes deep. As I said, when there's no base, it just goes down and down. So in short, for those people who have able to think very deeply and yet can deliver, not just thinkers, they can deliver, and they can solve problems, they're considered wise people. Correct. That's how in olden days people who like Zhuge Liang, all these Zhang Liang, all these strategists, they they know the situation, they analyze situation, they think very deeply all the possibilities that they can think of. And then from there, the second step, they also think of all the possibilities. Then from there, to make sure that the win rate is highest for any battle. So they think very wisely. So 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 that's why Gui Yin water is related to being wise. Okay, and they are also it's like a mist cloud when you see it, and you see the same cloud, the patch of canopy of cloud with somebody. You can see a dog, the person can see a cat. So that means what? They can be very imaginative. They give people a very imaginative fundamentals. So Grey Water are very imaginative people, so very creative. They are good in this field where creativity are needed. Okay, and they are good learners because water, you pour to whatever ship, they can just be at the ship. So they are so adaptive, and they can learn well because they can go deep. You see, very adaptive. And they like cloud, like mist. The same molecule can be here today, can be there the next day. So with that, they means it travels a lot. Okay, they moves around a lot. They need to move. They never sit still one. Okay, so these are the favorable gray water characteristics. The non-favorable one is they are inconsistent, as you say. You give them whatever shape, they will be adaptive into the shape, whatever container you pour into. So to a person, they are like, hey, you just change your stand anywhere you like, inconsistent. You see, and being indecisive. They sometimes when you pour, they just scatter everywhere. You see, that's why it's like, hey, it appears to them that they become very unprincipled. You see, for what Gui water negative aspect, and then from there, in humans, when we have this thing called Siemens. Okay, so that's why it's liquid, it's fluid. That's why it's also related to grey water, so being lustful. The word is lustful. Okay, and also not systematic because it just goes anywhere it likes and stays anywhere it likes, and the dew water will just appears anywhere you like. It's so unsystematic. Okay, so these are all the unfavorable aspects of a grey water. So now let's recap. Okay, so you have so many you have 10 stems, and you have the yin and the yang side, which is the jia yi, bing ting, wu ji, deng xing, ren gui. And from there, each of the 10 stems, you have the favorable and unfavorable. So then once you write down, recollect, then when you do analysis for people, it will be very useful because you're able to expand way more. If this fundamental is still very wobbly, you will realize that when you do further Bazi studies or application or readings or analysis, you are stuck. So why am I spending so much time on these two things, the five elements, the 10 stem, is because of it's so fundamentally freaking important. Okay, so give me a yes to tell me that you roughly have an idea of what these five elements and 10 steps are so far, so that I know that you are good, and then from there at least I know that I have given you enough of the elaborations to make sure that you learn well. Because a lot of time people ask, 八字 is it accurate or not? Is it accurate or not? Or this way of applying, is it can I see the results one? People always ask this kind of question. I always come back to this thing called the inner game plus outer tool. Inner game plus outer tool. Okay, let me elaborate that again. You see, I've been flashing this slide again and again. So important. It's so important is because people are missing the point if they just look at the tool. The inner game has to be there. If you don't know I'm talking, let me bring out the example of a car. You are riding a car. Then from there, do you think that you need to know how you have a license to drive, then you can drive? If you don't have a license, it's another story. That you don't have a license, but you can still drive if you know to drive. But that's one without license, one with license. However, if things turns out bad, there are different consequences. All right. Same thing. If you are driving, if you are driving a Lamborghini on a rocky road, very bad road. I am driving a Fiat Punto on a very smooth road. I might not be slower than you, know, because of road conditions. So there are many different things that pertains to us versus the vehicle that determines the ride. You see, there are many things that pertains to us, ourselves, and also the vehicle and the road, the externals that gives you a different definition of the ride. If you don't understand what I'm talking, let me bring to an example. Inner game, outer tool. Inner game, it can be your skill, it can pertain to your familiarity of the vehicle or the surrounding. Inner game can be your mood. When you're driving, are you in a good mood or bad mood? If you're in a bad mood, anything outside looks nice, you will not be bothered. In a good mood, you will be enjoying the scenery as you drive, very relaxed. You know? Or in a rushing mood, or in a traffic jam mood, it's a different mood, right? Then if you're thinking something, then you probably miss the red light, or you probably miss something, and things happen because you are not concentrating on the road, the thoughts. Then the energy. So if you have been not sleeping for 3 days because of a project and you're actually very low in energy, you're sleepy when you drive, it's dangerous. When you have drink a lot, then from there your energy is totally not focused on the road, it's dangerous. And then also conditioner experience, for conditioner experience, like how you conditioner experience. What do you mean by that? It means when you drive, there are other many different factors like who's in the car with you, and then from there, is this somebody that you don't like, that your boss sitting beside you, that affects the whole journey, or is it you're talking about some topic that you get so heated up, or is it that because of the you're sitting with your potential girlfriend and you're so nervous? All these are your inner world, okay, that affects the whole ride easily. Now, besides that, the outer tool can be the car specs. Are you driving a $1 million car, or you're driving a $100,000 car? Different specs. Some can be 100 kilometer per hour in 5 seconds. The other one is in 12 seconds. So these are all the car specs. These are all the outer condition, the tools. The road surface is another thing. The terrain, how up and down, how wavy it is, also affects your whole journey. Outer things like the weather, suddenly it turns so heavy rain, like recently Singapore can get so heavy rain in the 5 minutes. After that, the skies are clear in the next 5 minutes. The car maintenance, is there no engine oil, no nothing, and or even the tire is wearing out, or there are blind spots in the car which you don't pay attention. All these external are the tools. So now recap back. You tell me, inner game, outer tool, which are more important? The answer is both. If you learn all the tools in metaphysics, but your inner games is not catching up, is not released and open, is not being flexible and fluid, is not being able to catch up onto the tools, you cannot advance. Same thing, if wherever internal is the mindset is very narrow, the tools it'll be narrow because you're seeing narrow. I'm not able to see the side. If your inner world are prepared, are in the right frame, then when the tool comes in, you don't need a lot of tools. So one or two tools will bring you quantum leaps steps ahead. Okay, a person don't need a lot of tools, but just a workable tools. And the inner game is something that's more important. It defines how we see everything. So if you want to work on the inner tools as you learn Bazi, that will be even more effective. If you go the other way around, just learn the tools, but inner game is not settled, the journey will be either longer or skewed. Okay, better in mind. It's very important. That's why you realize that when same tools applied, how come his work, how come mine don't work? It's because of the inner game, very likely. Assuming the outer tools are very straightforward. What timing, what degree, based on the budget, what to do, put that thing, do the thing, and then from there, send the conscious, then from there, internally you have to attune. It's pretty much for that activation. But the inner game, if my bowl is this big in a heavy downfall, the most water I can contain is this bowl of water. If I don't have this bowl of water, I have this bottle in the same heavy downfall. I put this bottle down there. My water containment is this much. In the same rain, same downfall, same timing, I have a big pot of water. And if I use it to collect the rainwater, what is my water level, amount of water captured? With the whole pot. See, the two reaches are the rain, but the different volumes of water captured depends on your inner game. All right, so that's very important. I'll cover more as I go move along. But these are the soft skills which a lot of people miss out, but they're the most important actually. Okay, so now you know if you have been doing what you're doing, then the next thing is if you think you're successful, it's good. If you think you have not reached your goals, then you need to know whether whether what you do are workable or not. If your things are not workable, then it's time to go to the inner game and tweak the belief system. I repeat, if whatever you're doing is not helping you to reach your goal, assuming your goals are practical, doable, people have done it before, okay, then the next question is you have to reflect whether whatever you're doing is not bringing you there. Is it because of the belief system? If it is a belief system that's holding you back, go and tweak it. You need to tweak the belief system. And if you're still anal over, no, I'm right, then from there, well, you have to start thinking sometimes whether your belief system works. If you look at your life, you know whether it works or not. When I say it works or not, it means one thing, moving ahead. Okay, I'm not saying one step and you hit it. As long as your belief system allows you to move ahead gradually, likelihood you are moving is good. If at all it's not moving, then you need to reflect on the belief system to see what is missing so as to make the whole thing works better for you. Let's back to the inner game. Okay, outer two is way easier to work. It's the inner game that's way more challenging for it to work for ourselves. So always reflect on the inner game and see what is stopping us from reaching our goals. If the person is too narrow-minded, work on that. If the person is filled with hatred, work on that. If the person is really just want to be rich, want to be successful, but don't want to put in effort, work on the put in effort. It's as straightforward as that. Okay. So in 八字, now I dive deeper into 八字. It's very important to know that this body and apply concept. Body and apply. Have you heard of this body and apply concept before? If yes, you have to type a yes so that I know you know. If you have no ideas at all, you tell me no so that I can elaborate a bit further. Okay. So you tell me whether you heard this thing of body and apply. Okay. In Chinese, you call this 体用. In 八字, this is a very important mindset because it is like a subject object. Outcome, reference point, is something like saying you are there because I am here. You see? So it is really a subject object perspective because it's all about knowing the body, the key thing, the key thing, and the context around it. Okay, and the context around it, so that you have an understanding of how to position your perspective. How to position your perspective. Okay, it is so very important. Okay, so once you know where to see one thing, lock it. The rest are reference point. Okay, because if you are You know, a lot of time people read 八字, try to read everything together and then they got lost because they don't know where to start and they're like, so many things, which is the right thing? I bet this will be a common challenge for most of you. So that's why I always lock the reference point, you start reading. Then lock the reference point, then you start reading. So it's always a body and apply, 体跟用. Okay? Why am I saying that? Because important thing was said three times. Because in a 八字 chart, this is a 八字 chart that we generate for our friends who have engaged with us before. And then from there, you will realize that you have the 8 elements down there, okay? And in these 8 elements, these are the 8, okay? These are the 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are the 8 elements that we have been talking about. Okay, this is the fundamental that represents the energy, the vibrations in our life. And in a Bazi chart, you can actually generate this Bazi chart from a lot of the softwares, or if for those friends who have engaged us with feng shui before, live reading before, and also the date selection, you will see this. Okay, and then from there you will know that the one from our chart, the one with the red color is your day master. Okay, and that's why the body normally we talk about is the day master is in this position. It is in this position. Okay, this is called the day master. The rest of the characteristics are all just be considered as the apply, the context. Okay, and with that context, it just leads you to know that, look at this and look at the rest, and you see whether it's good, it's bad, you're supported, you're not supported, you're clash, you're combined. It's just like that. That's how it works. Okay, so always remember, day master, there's a possibility of 10 stems. So if your day master is a Jia, now you know typically your favorable and favorable, what are the characteristic traits that you are probably exhibiting. If you are a E, you know that you can be meticulous and neat, okay, but you can be clinging to if on the unfavorable side. So now you know that which element 10 stem that you are is found in the day master. Typically down here, I will zoom in, you'll find that the stems will be all on the top. Okay, so it can be any of the 10 stems, and these 10 stems being on top, it means one thing, being on top. This is called on top. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 3, 5, 7 is known to be on top. So being on top, it means one thing, it is easily seeable by people. It is easily being seen by people. You are exhibiting that kind of characteristics and traits of that stem. Favorable or unfavorable, we shall talk later, but you're exhibiting that more obvious because it's seen on top. Okay, so then now that's why you realize that, this person has Jia, and Wu. So 2 yin wood, 1 yin, sorry, 2 yin wood, 1 yang wood, and 1 yang earth. So that means to say this person exhibit a lot of the wood characteristics already on the external. And then from there, you start to talk about it. This person is a Yi wood. So you can say that he's probably the favorable and also the unfavorable. So which has more, it depends on the favorable or unfavorable for wood applies to him or not. Okay, so if his wood is favorable, then the more favorable will be there for his general characteristics. If the wood being unfavorable, then he will exhibit more unfavorable ones, unless through years of experience in life lesson, he learns to be more mature. Then that is able to compensate. All right. So now again, your characteristics primarily exhibited by the yin wood. But then there are also wood wood and earth. So you also exhibit that kind of nature openly to different parties also, your boss, your colleague, your siblings, your juniors, your seniors, your peers, your network, your business partner, depending. So that pertains to the palace topic. Okay, so now you got it. So now on top one means you have that stamp. That stamp, you will exhibit more of that character. Positive or negative aspect of that stamp depends on whether it's favorable or unfavorable for that element. Okay, it's getting more and more complicated, but once you get the hang of it, it's never too hard. So that's the top. So when I talk about the bottom, you see that there's a rooster, there's an ox, there's a rat, there's a monkey. So these are known to be the branches. The branches. Technically, they're the animals, the 12 animals. And the 12 animals, there are only 12 子丑寅卯辰巳午未申酉戌亥. In English, rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, the dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, pig. Okay, the 12 one. Okay. So yeah, so there are 12 animals. So you will realize that these 12 animals are at the branches, and then from there it forms another different layer of interactions. But bear in mind, okay, I will not be touching branches in this topic, but I want to let you know that for every branch there are stems. You see the stems here? For a rooster, which is a yolk, you have a sing. For a ox, which is a chou, you have a ji, sing, gui, which is ya. For a zi, you have, which is a rat, you have a gui. For a shen, which is a monkey, you have a geng, wu, ren. Isn't that back to stems again? So that's why I'm covering stems. I'm spending so much time in stems. It is because just for you to know that stems are the fundamental of all metaphysics in Bazi, in a lot of things. So that once you settle one thing called the 10 stem, you settle a lot of the problems down the road. Isn't that I'm solving your weakest link? Or else if you keep coming back and see what the hell are 10 stems. So now you know on top are easily seeable by people. So on the contrary, it means that what that is below are not so easily seen by people. All right. So and then from there can be seen, not easily seen. But however, in a nutshell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 8 characters, 4 stem, 4 branches. These 8 characters form the Bazi. Although 8 characters form the Bazi, you will realize that there are stems down here and there are stems down here. So don't get confused. I repeat again. In the Bazi, 8 characters. Why 8? Because there are 4 stems on top, 4 branches below. 4 plus 4, 8. However, back to the fundamentals, we are still looking at the stems on top of the branches relationship. So it can be all ruled down to the one common the denominator. They are called 10 stems. Okay. Then once you're familiar with that, then we can talk about probably in the next round on palaces, rooted. These are a bit more technical already. Okay, bear in mind. So far for this lesson, this is all you need to know. And then from there, the next thing is for every 8 character, there's always this thing called the luck pillar. It's just like the salad, you put a dressing. You can put mayonnaise, you can put vinaigrette, you can put soy sauce for all I care, but then it's a different dressing. So that means to say, with a fundamental Bazi, the luck will place a opportunity, overall tasting is different. Okay, so that becomes another layer. So sometimes we call it the five pillar is because of pillar one, pillar two, pillar three, pillar four, and then this one pillar five. Five pillar of destiny, but typically we talk about the four first. Okay, so that's how it works. So if you have our chart, you will realize that you are able to also see one thing that is called the before I cover that, I need to talk about objective first. Objective is very important because you can do whatever feng shui you like, whatever Bazi, whatever date selection that you want. But if you don't know what you exactly want, you'll just be a blurred vision. You are a blur shooting a 10 time effect is still a 10 blur. You get more blur. You get more confused. So always have a clear objective that rhymes to your inner game, and then you apply the right outer tool, then the result will be easily 2x, 3x better, 5x better. Okay. So work on the inner game, you will get a bigger jump. Work on the precision of the tools and plus experience, that will be a catalyst effect. Okay. So that's how it works. So always have a very clear objective, something that is within the realm of possibility. If you are earning 100K and you want more wealth, don't ask for a 300K. Ask for a 30%, 40% more than 100K, 130, 140. If you are not in a relationship, don't ask for, can I get married by this year? You probably ask for, how can I find the person that I want to get along with so that I'm in a relationship. Then you're in a relationship, then you ask for the next step. You don't jump 3 steps ahead. You see, so when you are not near there, don't ask for something that's too far-fetched. Ask for something that's within the realm of feasibility. Put a number there if you can, put a time base there if you can, and you put in your effort there also. Okay, don't just ask how to have better wealth, better relationship, better health when I'm sleeping 8 hours every day, but I'm working 15 hours every day and I do exercise for 3 years. Can I be healthy? See, so you need to put in effort. All right, so this is very important. So one thing you realize in my chart, I have this thing called the where is it? Yeah, I have this thing called the favorable, unfavorable, favorable. Then you know that which element, water is favorable, wood is favorable. So let's say for this guy, Albert is a wood. He has wood element being the day master. Wood element being the day master, wood being unfavorable. So now you know that he will exhibit more of the wood unfavorable side of the characteristics. I'm not saying that he will only have the unfavorable. I'm saying he's going to show more of the unfavorable side than compared to the favorable side. It's as simple as that. So now you know that if you have this chart, you will be able to tell that which elements are favorable or unfavorable. Then look at the day master, you know that you are exhibiting more of the favorable or unfavorable in terms of the characteristics. Then in terms of the overall, you see there's 2 yin wood, 1 yang wood. So he's exhibiting a lot of the unfavorable aspect of the wood characteristics. But he got the earth there. And earth being unfavorable again. So too bad for Mr. Albert. Okay, so this Mr. Albert, this on the outside, he will exhibit more of the unwelcome characteristic traits. So he has to put in more effort in his action to actually tune back so that he can become more likable by the friends around him. But his underneath one are pretty good. Okay, which he probably has a good heart, good nature. It's just that when he shows it to the outside world, somehow it's pretty screwed up. Because why? If you study Bazi, Yu Chou is a combi. Chou Zi is a combi. Zi Shen is a combi. So maybe this guy internally he's very optimistic. He just being aloof and don't care about what other things of him. That's why you do it that way. So if you want to have a better life, you must be inside happy, outside people around him also happy. Then from there, that's why you probably need, for Albert, this case example, he needs to do something which pertains to plot. He needs to put in more effort to on how he deal with people around him externally. Okay. I need to say that this chart, you will realize that again, for those who have engaged in my feng shui live reading or this session, you will probably have this chart. You will know the favorable and favorable, because I realize a lot of the outside software, they do not state the favorable and unfavorable as one of the consideration point. At this stage, this thing is not open, as in there's a link and you can put it inside. Down the road, I'll probably do a link for you. But meanwhile, yeah, it can be done in a very mathematical way, but it's gonna be a long story. It's gonna be quite a long story. So if you don't have this chart, at least you know how to see a budget and read. If you really want to know about the favorable and favorable aspect as one of the thing, then do look for us. Then we see how we can move ahead. So any questions so far? Any questions that you want to ask, you can ask now. If there's no question, I will move on because also of a time constraint. And yeah, I'll see any question as it comes along the way. I think that's good. Okay. So for us, what we can do for you is we've been providing feng shui consultation to our friends who wants to feng shui consult. And then from there, the feng shui consult is it pertains to 3 sessions. One on site to see the actual surrounding, so that, and also to know the objective of the owner. Then from there, we try to see what are the key, take some key measurements also. Then the second meeting will be a meet up with the person, and also to give advice, proposal, recommendations based on that to help the owner achieve their objectives. And then from there, also what to look out for, especially. So there's probably a short party session with the owner, and we also provide the chart, that one that you saw just now, on the favorable and favorable, to the owner to tell him what to look out for, also depending on his question. And then from there, there'll be a third session, which is probably a video call, 6 months, 9 months down the road, to counter check and see everything's still okay or not. So to make sure that all the one to engage us in feng shui all are in good shape. All right. So this is what we do for feng shui consultation: 2 face-to-face, 1 phone call. So 1 on site for the first one, then recommendation, advice, proposal, the report, then followed by a phone call follow up. Okay, this is for feng shui. So and then for we will also be doing the live chart reading. And the live chart reading, you are actually using 紫微斗数 and Bazi, and that means you also be having the chart if you engage us in these services. We will help you to read it so detailed that you will know why you want to achieve the objective. And then from there, you will, how come you can't achieve the objective, or you took longer than usual, is because something in the past just says that your style, you actually took a long route. If you use that style, your route will be way shorter. So it's your choice to love the old route or to explore the new route. Then from there, how to get how to identify the weakest link. With the weakest link identified, the bottleneck issue is resolved, you will get the maximum leverage. Then from there, the result will be quantum leap. Okay, it will not be if you put in $100 and you gain $20, that is called gain. If you put in $20 and gain $100, that is called quantum leap. Okay, so we want quantum leap result. We don't want small gains wherever possible. So how to make our life proceed ahead, be it relationship with loved one, with parents, with siblings, with partner, be it getting money back, be it getting money back for those who owe you, or in business, or in career, or in work, or in luck, or in health, or in well-being, or seeking breakthrough. All this can be identified through a live chart reading. So do look for us if you're interested, and we can talk further. We're also doing annual luck reading. So people who just forget the whole thing, just tell me simple thing, then we show them the luck trend, what stars to look out for, and then be careful. Because it's just like Viking, going downtrend and going up. So you see up and downtrend. The most scary part is not the down, it's the going down part. When the going down part is the most scary part, just like Viking, woo! Because while the down part, you usually have season and balance yourself, but it's still low. So when you're down, don't go around and shoot people. When you're high, take chances, don't go and hide behind. Or else you waste your life literally. Okay, this is what you do for people also, and start reading. Or number change. Some of our friends look out for us for phone number change or car number change, because we ourselves are vibrations. People in our life, opportunities in our life phone number in our life are also there for a reason because of our vibrations. And we get a phone number, even from phone number, it can tell you about your past many years, what's happening. I've done it for so many people, and they're all like amazed. How do you know? Yeah. So that's why phone number is a pattern. It gives vibration. By changing to the right phone number that aligns to your own objective, it will help. Okay, it will help. Be it phone number or car number. And we also do auspicious calendar. Like some of our friends who bought the date selection from us, they also have. Hope you those who bought have tried using the stars and create good outcomes from there. Okay, don't just waste it, because I've been using it even for and even until today. I'm using my own chart, the one that I share with you that you purchased, so that I'm living my own stuff also. Okay, so use it. Okay, don't waste it. Okay, it's a day session to know when to do important activities, important time, important thing. Okay, so if you use those, if you align to the heavens luck, your own auspicious hour, you are actually increasing your chances of success. On top of the part, you do your part, because as I keep saying, we do our part on the action. Let the auspicious star do their part. Once these frequencies align, there will be a new spark of success. Okay. These are the properties that we've done for all our friends out there. So can be commercial or residential, and we have some of the happy friends out there. And this is not even all. Okay, so I just want to tell you that we'll be doing this for a while. So if you are happy with our webinar, and if you're considering to purchase any of our services, do look for us. How to look for us? Be part of our community. 81894418 is our number. So if you want to be a part of community, just WhatsApp to us. And then from there, we will put you into our contact list, so that wherever new free webinar, feng shui tips, passes, sharing, metaphysics knowledge, or learning, or blogs, or property launch, or videos, or anything, good days, we will just put inside the broadcast. So you have to save our contact number into your contact list, so that when we broadcast, you can receive it. If you do not save the contact number in your contact, then when we broadcast, you will not be able to receive it. Okay, that's a WhatsApp requirement. So save our number and tell us, so that we will keep you in our contact, and we'll broadcast wherever that is along the way. All right, that is as easy as that. It's free anyway. So this is, give us a like, and so that we know that this is helpful for you. And then from there also, if you do have our personalized, if you need to purchase our personalized auspicious date calendar, there is a general monthly calendar that's for you to download. Okay, down here. Okay, go to here, and you can download a general one. General means general lah. Personalized means personalized to your own budget, which are the good days. So so it depends on how far you want to go. Do help us to give a good review in my Facebook, so that I can continue to do this free sharing, so that you grow. You don't pay tons of dollar because of ignorance, or because of not knowing the way, the simplest way, and then from there you waste your time, money, effort. Okay, so that's why keep learning, and then from there, if you like the learning, give us a like in Facebook, and then so that it spurs us to continue to keep sharing. Okay, so a like in Facebook, this one. Okay, now any questions I see? Okay, I heard from Jen. Jen has a question. One more example for favorable or unfavorable. Example, Water Day Master. You must say Water Day Master, right? Okay, anyway, okay, let's go back to our Albert, okay? Albert, where are you, Albert? Okay. It's messy, yeah?
You have another 5 more minutes.
Okay. Let's say, if Albert, this is a kuei, okay? A kuei chou, not a yi chou, okay? Kuei chou. So kuei, very simple. From this chart, from here, you will be able to know that water is being favorable. So water is being favorable. So Albert itself, being day master water, for example, not a yin wood, but a yin water, he will exhibit more of the favorable side of the characteristics. For example, he can think, he's intelligent, he's a strategist, he is very flexible, but probably also there's a natural innate character that he thinks a lot. He also thinks too deep sometimes, but more favorable than unfavorable. So it's very straightforward. Okay, Serene, how does the unfavorable element affect the DM? The unfavorable element does not affect the DM. It's just that the DM will exhibit more of the unfavorable side of the equation, if that's your day master. Being said that, it doesn't mean that it's cast on stone dead for life. So the person has to put in more effort to actually tone it down and shift it to the favorable. So this is what we call remedy in Bazi. Bazi is totally able to be remedied. It's not cast on stone and you're dead forever. No. Bazi is totally able to be remedied. So that's why you need to do that. Do the more good side, but it's not an innate natural talent, but it can be done. Okay, I'll cover a bit more on that in my next webinar. So do give us do dial in my next webinar on Wednesday 8 p.m. Okay, Wednesday 8 p.m. And please help inspire me, motivate me by giving your kind review in Facebook. And then from there, contact us when you're interested. Then from there, I can keep doing this. And thanks for our friend who was dialed in from Amsterdam. Okay. And also, yes, and those first timer, you might miss my 5 elements, but if you still are in this 10 step, you still get to gain one of the most important fundamental. So you can still carry on with what you understand today and move on and keep learning the budget to solve our problem. End of the day, we want to solve our problem. All right. So hope that you have learned something new. Give me a thumbs up, and then so that I know. Oh, yes. I would like to do a short poll with all of you. Do select a poll to tell me what is your selection. You learn a lot. You actually you know, and it's a good refresher, or I don't know, I find it so, or that I still don't know what's happening. So help me to poll this so that I know that how to position my next webinar. So that the key thing is the audience. I want to make sure that you able to learn something with the time spent, so that you help yourself to grow, so that you avoid this word, the price of ignorance. All right. So do help me to poll so that I know, and then from there I can start to, if I see that a lot are good refresher, I will make it more in depth in my next round. But I want to make sure that it's onion peeling, every layer counts, so that you don't fall to ground zero. All right. So thanks for all your time. Keep pulling, and then from there, do help me to know where you stand, so that at least I can position myself better through the next webinar to help you all. Okay. Any questions you can still ask now. Any final question?
You only have 1 more minute.
1 more minute. Okay. So, all right. Keep pulling, and then from there, yep. Thank you, and keep pulling. Okay. So thanks a lot. This is Marcus from Aspected Physics. Hope you have a great time today, and thanks for your dialing in. Bye bye.